Hello everyone, welcome to Power of 21 with ClearTex. I'm CS Urbi Punshi, Indirect Tax Expert at ClearTex. And today we are going to start our session on GSTR 9 and 9C under GST. So we know that it's an annual return and the reconciliation statement, but now in this session we are going to actually understand this in detail. Like what will happen if my books of account is not matching with GSTR 1 and GSTR 3B? Which liability to be shown in GSTR 9 form and under which particular table? Similarly, what will happen if my purchase books is not matching with the ITC what I have claimed in my GSTR 3B and the ITC which is actually uploaded by my supplier in their GSTR 1 which I can see in my GSTR 2A. So what will happen if there is a mismatch between these details? What information needs to be shown in your GSTR 9 and under which particular table? So all of this answer will be given while we are talking about GSTR 9 and 9C. So let's start our session on today's topic, which is about annual return and the reconciliation statement. So first question comes in, who has to actually file your GSTR 9 and 9C? So if we talk about GSTR 9, if you now we are just talking from the angle of 1819. So if we talk about in general, the GSTR 9 needs to be filed by every regular taxpayer. If we talk about 9C, this needs to be filed whenever your turnover is more than 2 crore. So that is a general provision. Now if we talk about financial year 1819, in this case, GSTR 9, if your turnover is above 2 crore, then you have to file GSTR 9. If your turnover is below 2 crore or up to 2 crore, in that particular case, it's optional for you. If you want to file, you can go ahead and file, but it's an optional thing for you. And now if we talk about GSTR 9C, if your turnover is up to 5 crore, it's relaxed for financial year 1819. It's your wish if you want to file or not. And if it's more than 5 crore, then it's become mandatory for you to file your 9C. So this is about who has to file your 9 and 9C return. Now we'll move towards who are not required to file this annual return. So this annual return is not for the casual taxable person, the input service distributor, the non-resident taxable person, the person who is paying the TDS under section 51, we took one example like PSU and all, the person collecting TCS under 52 like an e-commerce operator, and the taxpayers who has opted for the composition scheme, they all are not required to file the return. Now if we talk about what is the due date for filing your GST 9 and 9C for financial year 1819, so it's 30th June 2020. And one important thing, return one file cannot be revised. So if you have filed your 9 and 9C once, it cannot be revised. So you have to make sure whatever you're filing is correct. So that cannot be wrong because you cannot revise it return. And in case you don't file the return by the due date, which is 30th June 2020, then there is a late fees of 200 per day, or maximum limit would be 0.25% of the turnover of that particular state and the union territory. So that is a late fees which you have to pay if you don't file the return on time. And one more important thing, this needs to be filed for every state. So if you are a person, you have one particular PAN and let's say you have 3 GST in 3 different states. So you have to file this return for 3 different states separately, which means for every state you have to file one GST 9 and 9C. But while you're computing the turnover to know whether you have to file GST 9 and 9C or not, for that you have to always do the aggregate turnover at a PAN level and not at a GST level. So there are two different things. So for knowing whether you have to file or not, you have to see at a PAN level and then do the aggregate turnover. And to file the return, you have to file the separate return for every GST which you have taken. Now we'll actually discuss on the form about GSTR 9, like what is GSTR 9 form and what all the tables which needs to be filled while we're looking into GSTR 9. So first part is about the basic detail of the taxpayer, where you just have to tell this is the GSTR number, this is the name of the taxpayer, this is the legal name and all this information. Second is detail of the outward and the inward supplies made during the financial year. Third part talks about the ITC. Fourth part talks about the taxes which you have paid. Fifth part, the amendments or the additions which you have done post that particular financial year. And the sixth is other related information. So this is just a brief, but we'll understand this in detail, like what this section means and what information needs to be filed where. So this is a basic part which is very clear. Like in the first is the financial year, second GST, and third is legal name and the trade name. Now question comes in. Now let's talk about, so we'll just divide our session into two parts. One session looking into only your liability, or we are talking about the outward supply. Second part we'll talk about the ITC. So first we talk about the liability part, which is my outward liability. So when I'm talking about my outward liability, and the second is my ITC. If I talk about my outward liability, so first thing is where all this information needs to be shown. You have your books of account where you actually shows your turnover and the liability. Second, you have your GSTR 1 where you talk about the outward supplies which needs to be shown in GSTR 1. And third is your GSTR 3B. There you also show your liability and pay the taxes to the government. So in 3B is the only form where you're actually making the payment to the government. So through 3B you make the payment, through 1 you declare the information, and which is much detailed information, and in books it's the actual thing which actually happened, right? Now we'll actually look into different tables of your GSTN 9. While we look into different tables of GSTN 9, one important point which you have to take care is in GSTN 9 there is one table 4 which talks about the liability, or you can say outward supply. You will see table number 5 which talks about your exempted supplies or related supplies, or where you don't actually have to pay the taxes to the government. It will also talk about table number 10 where it talks about wherever you have some amendments or additions which has been done in the next financial year but is related to the current financial year. And then there is a table number 11 which is also the same thing, but it's talking about reduce. The table 10 says whenever it is increased, table 11 says whenever it's decreased. We'll actually understand this all with the help of example. So you have to for now just keep in mind 4 table. One is 4, 5, 10 and 11, right? Wherever you have done some supplies and shown that supplies also in financial year 18-19. So right now we are just talking from the context of financial year 18-19. So if you have certain supplies which was done in 18-19 and you have shown in the return in GSTR 3B in 18-19 itself, that is one part. Second part, there were certain supplies for 18-19 but you forgot to report. You have not even reported in 18-19 but you have reported in 19-20, which is the next year. There could be another thing. There was certain liability which was reported in 18-19 but the value was wrong. So what happened? There was a particular liability of, let's say, 1 lakh rupees. But you have reported only 80,000 while you are filing the return for the month of for the financial year 18-19. So you have just shown 80,000, and the rest 20,000 you have shown in the next financial year. So 20,000 you have shown in 19-20, which is related to 18-19, and 80,000 you have shown in 18-19. So which means your liability over here was increasing, and that 20,000 is related to 18-19 and shown in 19 next year. So this extra amount which is actually increasing needs to be shown in table number 10. Second part, where you have not shown. There was a first example which we took where we have not even shown. If we have not shown and now in the next year we have shown it, so there was a liability for 18-19. I forgot to even report in 18-19. I showed that information in 19-20. So that information again will go in table number 10. Now the other part is, let's say you have reported extra. The liability was actually, the actual liability was 1 lakh rupees, but you have reported 1,20,000 while you are filing the return. And when I'm talking about the return, I'm always talking about 3B. So we are always looking into 3B because that is the return where we are actually making the payment to the government. So now what happened? Why you are filing the return, instead of showing 1 lakh, you have shown 1,20,000, but in the next year you have adjusted that 20,000. So if you have already adjusted that 20,000 which is related to 18-19 in 19-20, that information needs to be shown in table number 11, right? So this part we understood, like wherever the liability is getting increased and we have made the adjustment in the next year will come in table 10. Where the liability is getting decreased and we have made the adjustment in the next year, it will come in table number 11. And wherever the liability we have shown in the same financial year and belongs to the same financial year will show in 1819. Will show in table number 4 of GSTR 9 form. Right? So this part is clear. Now there could also be cases that there was certain things which belongs to 1718 and we have shown in 1819. It's obvious thing because we have done certain adjustments which was related to 1718 and we have done in 1819. So that information need not to be shown in the GSTR 9 of 1819 because when we are talking about GSTR 9 of 1819, we are talking about all the liability which is related to 1819, irrespective whether it was there in the next year or it was not even there in the next year or was there in the current year, right? Now this part is clear. So we were able to fill table number 4, we were able to fill table number 10 and table number 11, which are the important table in respect of your liability. Now other important point, and while we are filling this table, just look into your GSTR 3B and then fill this information. Say form basis that we actually make the payment to the government. So now if we just look into table number 4, we have different sections like supply made to unregistered dealer, supply to register, zero rated supply, supply to an SEZ. So this is the information we have to actually show while we are filing your GSTR 9. So outward supply is clear whether we have to file in table number 4, 10 or 11. Now there is a question of reverse charge. If there is an inverse supply liable to RCM, if you have shown in the current financial year and relates to current financial year, show it in G, which is 4G of GSTR 9. And if you have done in the next year, better show in the next year because you would have not claimed the ITC. So that again needs to be shown in the next year. But there are certain relaxation which has been given. So if we talk about the relaxation in table number 4, if we just talk about, there's a relaxation in relation to credit note which has been issued or debit note which has been issued, or if there's certain amendment which is done in the same financial year. If the amendment is done in the next financial year which is related to the current financial year, we show in table number 10 or 11. But if there are certain amendments which is related to the current financial year and is done in the current financial year, in that particular case, you can either show in table number 4K or L if you want. If you don't want to, you can just club that information and just show in table number 4 ABC, whatever the case may be. If it's related to register, you may directly show in 4B, and it's related to unregistered, you may show in 4A. So that is a relaxation which has been given. So they say if there are certain amendments which has been done in the same financial year, you can directly club in the above section rather than showing the bifurcation again in table number 4. Now moving towards the other things, so this was about table number 4. We talked about table number 5. The information here is wherever you don't have any liability. For example, if you are supplying to a SEZ unit or you are doing certain export without payment of IGST where there is no involvement of the tax amount, here that information needs to be shown in table number 5. Similarly, if you have exempt supplies or the related supply or non-GST supplies, again this needs to be shown over here. Or maybe if you have a certain B2B supplies but the taxes needs to be paid by the other person under the reverse charge, because in that case that person is going to make the payment to the government and not you. So that again information needs to be shown over here. Again, there's a little you can say relaxation given. So if they says instead of giving the bifurcation of related non-GST, you can show all the supplies under the exempted itself. So that is another relaxation which has been given over there. And in the same way, if there are certain credit note or the debit note which has been related, which has been issued on respect of the supplies to an you can say the exports on an SEZ unit. Again, for that you can give the net value over there itself rather than showing the bifurcation. So that is another relaxation which has been given. Now we have actually talked about the liability part, where we have talked about table number 4, 5, 10 and 11. Now we'll actually talk about ITC part, because ITC is again an important section where we have our books of account, we have our GSTR 2A and we have our GSTR 3B. So if we talk about ITC part, ideally what should be that ITC? It should be as per your books of account or it should be as per your 2A or as per 3B. So here it says whatever the ITC you have claimed in 3B, that information needs to be shown in table number 6. So here in table number 6, 6A will be automatically filled, and then you are just showing the bifurcation of whatever the ITC you have claimed related to 1819 in your GSTR 3B. That bifurcation needs to be shown over here. Then there is a, if you just look into this, there is an, again, earlier we used to give the bifurcation whether it's a input capital goods or input service. So now this bifurcation is not required while you are filing your GSTR 9. Apart from that, there are certain ITC related to transition and all. This will be auto-filled, so you don't have to again manually fill it. Then there is also ITC reversed. So there's like, as per maybe rule number 42, 43, you have done some ITC reversal in GSTR 3B. So that ITC reversals needs to be shown in table number 7. Again, you need not to show the bifurcation. You can show the entire figure under the other reversal itself. Then there is table number 8, which talks about 8A, where it will talk about this is a total ITC as per the 2A, and then it will show this is the ITC which you have claimed in your GSTR 3B, and if there is certain ITC which you have claimed in the next year. So obviously there would be ITC in 1819 and you have claimed in 1819, for 1819 you have claimed in 1819 itself. That will be shown in table number 6. If there was certain ITC which was related to 1819 but claimed in the next year, so that information needs to be shown in table number 8C. So that is what you have to show. And obviously if there is certain difference, you have to say whether you have forgot to claim or it was an ineligible ITC. So all that information needs to be given over here. Similarly, if there was certain IGST related to import of goods, that needs to be shown separately over here, because obviously that will not even part of your 2A. So there is no question of reconciling that information with your GSTR 2A. Table number 9 actually talks about the taxes which you have paid in your GSTR 3B. So whatever the taxes you have paid for 1819 will be automatically populated over here, and ideally this figure should match. We'll also discuss like what information in the form itself should match so that you don't make mistake while you're filing your GSTR 9. Then 10 and 11 we have already talked about. 12 and 13 again has become optional. So if you want to file, you can, otherwise you can just leave it. Then table number 15, which talks about demand and refund, again becomes optional. Table number 16, which was talking about supply receipt from composition or the deemed, this all has been become optional. And there was an HSN sum related to outward and inward, again becomes optional. So if we just talk about the, so right now we have talked about different things in GSTR 9 form. But important point is, because that form now we understood, we have already filed for 1718. It's the same thing we have to file for 1819 also. Obviously there are certain gaps. Like if we just look into certain gaps, could be there was certain ITC which I would have claimed it now, or whatever the information I've shown in 1011, should I show it now or not? So there are a lot many questions which comes into our mind. So we'll understand this with the help of example, like what are the issues which are related to the liability and how to solve that and how to report that in GSTR 9. In the same way, what are the issues which is related to the ITC and how to report that information in your GSTR 9 form. So if we just talk about liability, right? In respect of liability, we have three set of data. Either we have books, or we have GSTR 1, or we have GSTR 3B. So let's say for the period April 18 to March 19, total liability or the turnover as per your books is 100 rupees. As per your 1 also 100, and as per 3B, it's 80. But in the next year, you have made the correction and you have paid the extra 20 rupees to the government. Now question comes in, while you are filing your GSTR 9, what information needs to be reported where? Here in table number 4, what we'll do, because we have paid, what we have paid to the government is only 80 rupees in GSTR 3B in 1819. So we'll show in table number 4 80 rupees, and the 20, because that now the liability has been increasing, so we'll show 20 rupees in table number 10. So this is how we need to report this information in GSTR 9 in different table of GSTR 9. Now let's go to the another example. Let's say for period April 18 to March 19, as per books, your turnover is 100. As per your GSTR 1, you have only reported 80. In 3B, you have correctly reported and you have reported 100 rupees. In GSTR 1, in the next financial year, you have made certain adjustment, that is 20 rupees adjustments, you have now made it. Now question comes in which particular table we have to show and how. So here in 3B, because that's the correct liability. because as per books the liability is 100 and in 3B you have correctly shown 100 rupees in 1890 itself. So in table number 4 you will show entire 100 rupees. So that is how we need to report while we are filing our GSTR 9. Third example is, let's say for financial year 18-19, as per books, your turnover is 100 rupees. In GSTR 1, it's 80 rupees. You have shown 80 rupees. And in 3B, you have shown 1000 rupees. You have made a mistake and you have just shown 1000 rupees. Now question comes in how to report and where. So your correct liability here is 100 rupees, right? So that is your correct, and GSTR 9 actually talks about showing the correct liability. So if we just sum up table number 4 plus 10 minus 11, whatever the amount comes in should be always equal to the liability as per your books of account, right? So that is one like agenda, that you have to make sure that table 4 plus 10 minus 11 equals to the turnover which is as per your books of account. So here maybe you have made a mistake in 3B, you have to correct in GSTR 9. So now in table number 4 you will show the actual liability which is your 100 rupees. Now let's say talk about, we have paid the excess in 3B and the taxes has been adjusted subsequently. So for the financial year April 18 to March 19, as per books it's 100, as per GST 1 it's 80, and as per 3B you have paid extra which is 120, but you have adjusted that in the next year. So 20 you have already adjusted. So in this case how to report? You have paid, so we are talking about table 4 actually comes up with 3B. So we'll show as per 3B which is 120 rupees in table number 4, but in table number 11 the 20 we have already adjusted will show as a figure over there, so that the net amount whatever comes matches with your books of account. So this is how we need to report if you have paid the extra but have adjusted that subsequently. Now the other question is, let's say if you have not adjusted. As per books, it's 100, 1 it's 80, and 3B is 120. But in the next year, you have not adjusted. So if you have not adjusted, your liability actually is 100. So what you will do, you will just show as per the actual liability in table number 4. So you will show in table number 4 100, which is your actual liability. So that is how we have to report while we are filing the GSTR 9. But there is one more thing. Think of the example where in 3B you have less paid and you have not even shown the difference in the next year. For example, in 18-19, as per books, you have 100 rupees. As per GST 1, you have correctly shown 100 rupees, but as per 3B, you have just shown 80 rupees. And in the next year, the 20 rupees still you have not paid. So here you have to show as per your books of account, which is 100 rupees while you are filing your GSTR 9, and that needs to be shown in table number 4. So in table number 4, you will show your actual liability, which is 100 rupees. So this is how we have to show the liability in our different tables of GSTR 9. Now we'll move towards the ITC, because there are a lot many issues which we also get in the ITC. And if we talk about the ITC, again, we have three set of information. One is your GSTR 2A, other is your GSTR 3B, and the last one is your books of accounts. So here if we just talk about, let's say our normal situation, everything is good. So credit as per 2A, let's say 1,50,000, and in credit as per 3B for 18-19 is, let's say 1,20,000, and what you have availed in the next is, let's say 12,000. So whatever you have not claimed, that will become, so for example, this example has been given as per financial year 18-19. So we have for the financial year 17-18, so we can just change from you can say it's for 17-18 to 18-19. Just think from the way, let's say it's for the 18-19. So let's say as per 2A, if let's say it's 1,000, as per 3B for that 17-18 it was 1,20,000, and let's say he has availed in 18-19, which is the next year, because this example is assuming the return period for which you are filing is 17-18. So let's say the person has availed in 18-19 12,000 rupees. So here in 8D the difference will come 18,000, and in credit available in 2A but not claim you have to show 2,500, and credit available in 2A but ineligible you have to show 15,500. So this is how the figures needs to be shown. So here we have again different things, but if I just summarize it, like if I just talk about ITC part, because it is important. So one important thing which you have to take care is, while you're showing the information in table number 6 of GSTR 9, make sure that information is actually matching with your GSTR 3B. So what you have claimed in your GSTR 3B for 1819 in 1819, that information needs to be shown in table number 6. Whatever the ITC reversal for 1819 in 1819 you have done in GSTR 3B, that information needs to be done in table number 7 of GSTR 9. And the other adjustments which you have done for 1819 in the next year, that you can show the information either in table number you can say 12 or 13. So that adjustment needs to be done in 12 and 13. So that is how you have to fill your GSTR 9 form. Now going towards the 9C form, because again we have a different tables in 9C form and it's more of a reconciliation thing. So you have to just reconcile the values in the table number 9C. So first start with the basic detail. You will just tell the financial year, GST number, the legal name and the trade name. Then there is a first reconciliation of the turnover in the audited annual financial statement with turnover which is declared in GSTR 9. So what you have to do? Let's say if you have different PAN. If you have, you have one PAN but with different GSTNs. So in that case, first you have to come up with a turnover of that particular GSTN, because 9C needs to be filed at a GSTN level and not at a PAN level sheet, and obviously that balance sheet and the profit and loss account which you have, so that financial statement would have a turnover at a PAN level. So you have to first come up with the turnover of that particular GSTN. You can use your books of account, because that books of account is actually used for preparing that financial statement. So from there, first you have to take out the turnover and then you have to do certain adjustments. Like if, and obviously this information you can get it from the financial statement itself. You can always reconcile with the information which is given in your balance sheet and the information over here. So you have to add certain thing, you have to subtract certain thing, like you have to add, for example, unbilled revenue at the beginning of financial year. You have to add the unadjusted advances at the end of the financial year. So you have to add certain information. Again, at the same time, you have to subtract. But again, the government has given little relaxation and they say, okay, if you don't know this all bifurcation, just leave it and put all this information in FIFO itself. In FIFO, just tell the total amount, that's okay, and just show the value over here if this is related to this, and then you will get the net annual turnover, and you have to show the annual turnover as per GST 9, which will be auto-populated from 9 itself. If there is a mismatch, then tell what is the reason of mismatch, and if there is a liability because of this, just pay the liability now itself. So that is how you have to do. And similarly, you have to do the reconciliation of the taxable turnover. So you have to just remove the exempted one part. So here you will see all the turnover after adjustments. Then you have to remove this exempted, related, non-GST or the zero-rated supplies and all. And still, if there is a difference, you have to tell the reasons for the unreconciled turnover. Then you have to do the reconciliation of the taxes paid at a tax level. So this is a tax 5%, 12%, 18%, 28%. So at a tax level you have to do, and also where there's a reversal to the normal, so you have to do the reconciliation of this. If it's not reconciled, tell the reason for this. Then there is a reconciliation of the input tax credit. So here again, you have to first tell this is a total ITC at a GST level, and if there is certain ITC which is booked in the earlier financial year and claimed in the current financial year, that needs to be shown over here. And after this, again, this is now becoming optional. So government has made it an optional fee, and then reconcile this with GST 9. So the purpose of 9C is nothing but it's just a reconciliation between the financial statement and your books of, so it's a reconciliation between your financial statement and your GSTR 9. Apart from that, there is a reconciliation of ITC at an expense level. The government has also asked the reconciliation at an expense level, but again, for the relaxation, they have made it optional. It's your wish if you want to fill or not. Another important thing is about the certification, where earlier it used to be a true and fair view. So they have now made it as a true and a correct, certain subject to certain observations and the qualification. And also the cash flow statement are required only if applicable for an entity. So if it's applicable, you can do it. Along with that, there's another important point. If you just go with GST 9 table number 8, because 8A talks about the reconciliation between your GST 2A with that of what is present in 3B, and if there's certain this is belongs to the next which is done in the next financial year belongs to this current financial year, you have to show it over here. So that is a reconciliation you have done. But we have seen that in GSTR 9 table number 8A, sometimes because that figure which is populated is automatically, so whatever the figures we try to do, that is not even matching. The government has given certain clarification that table 8 of GSTN 9 actually includes only the normal charge transaction. It does not include your reverse charge transaction. If the place of supply is different from your state, it will always exclude that information. It will always include the amendments minus original differential amount will be always included over there. So all that needs to be shown in 8A, but still if it is not matching, you can always give that as a PDF. You can just download all, put your all calculation and upload that information while you're filing your GSTN 9C. So that is about your GSTN 9C. So now we have actually understood about GSTN 9C and 9. But here comes up like ClearTax actually helps you in also filing your GSTN 9 and 9C so that you don't have to worry about this. It also has certain checklist which will actually help you in avoiding the mistakes. So for example, I was talking about the turnover should match with your books of accounts. I was talking about that taxes needs to be paid in GSTN 3B. So the liability which is there in your table number 4 ideally should match with the liability which you have paid in table number 9 of GSTN 9 form itself. So these are linking over there. So all this will be taken care while you're filing the return using ClearTax. So here I will give you a quick demo like how it actually works. So you have to just prepare the data. In a one shot, you can actually get your 1, 2A, 3B. You can upload your sales and purchase summary. You can just look into the GSTN 9, which has a checklist, and then file the 9. So you have to just click on file GSTN 9. You can just download on a single click the entire data. You can use it with OTP or without OTP. And after adding the ID password, your entire data will be downloaded for the 21, in fact for the entire 1819 and also 1920, because there could be certain adjustments which has been done in 1920 but later to 1819. So your entire data will be downloaded in a one single click. After it's done, you will also be able to see you can also see a sale and a purchase summary, and then you can just proceed towards filing your GSTN 9. So your form will be auto-filled basis your data in present in certain adjustments you can do it, and there would be a checklist which will actually help you in knowing whatever you're filing is correct or not. So if you make certain if there's a net tax payable or not, and whether the values in the different tables has been correctly shown or not, so that you can always see it. After filling it over there, you can actually go ahead and just file your return. So this is how you can actually file your entire GSTN 9 through ClearTax, which will actually help you in avoiding the mistakes. And also at the same time, you can prepare and make sure that your GSTN 9 for the different clients is ready and is at place, and then can file all the return at one go. So this all is again possible. So this was about how to file your GSTN 9 and 9C. Hope you like this webinar. In case you have any query, you can always mail us and also call us. And also this video will be uploaded to our YouTube channel where you can always subscribe, and in case you missed anything, you can always relook or recheck this video. Thank you. Thank you very much.